Hello, everybody. Paul David here with Fat Boy Music. Today we are going to be learning the minor scale. Now, you ask yourself, why do I want to get involved with learning scales? There's a couple reasons that you really need to learn this. First, so you can play solo. The minor scale will show you what notes are available to you in any key. Second reason is you can understand music theory, and that's very, very important. There's relationship to the scales with what chords you are playing. Now, this doesn't always hold true, and it doesn't always ring true in music. Some bands in the 90s, Nirvana, made it a point to kind of go off track, create tension with their sound by purposely playing tones that didn't belong in certain scales. But today we are going to be learning the minor scale, and we're going to start off with A minor. I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. I will just play the A minor scale for you very quickly. Traditionally, in music theory, it is said that major scales bring on happy emotions, minor scales are used to bring on sad emotions. We're going to start with the minor scale beyond the major scale because most music from about 1962 to the year 2000 was all written in minor keys. That's not everything, and it's not across the board, but most blues rock was written in minor keys. The scale starts out like this. We're going to learn it one string at a time. You're going to have the chart up here that you can follow along with me. So think of the scale as a pattern from string to string. The first string, you're going to use your first finger on the 5th fret A note, and then you're going to use your third finger on the 7th fret and your pinky on the 8th fret. So the first string is 1, 3, 4. The second string is exactly the same. 1, 3, 4. The third string is 1, 3. The fourth string, we'll slide our first finger down to the 4th fret and play 1, 2, 4. And then for the 5th string, we're going to play 1, 2, 4. And then the 6th string, 1, 3, 4 again. Now, this is something you're going to have to memorize. It literally took me 2 minutes to memorize this when I first started playing guitar, and somebody showed me this scale right off. So 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4, back 1 fret, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. And you memorize that pattern. Now, what I would like to ask you to do is create a chart like this. We're going to, eventually in this series, we're going to learn 5 positions of the minor scale. So if you take the chart that I have there, pause the video, and make a chart similar to that, and just put the notes on. When the video is over, you don't have to refer back to the video. Just refer to your chart that you have made. So remember, we're going to learn this as a pattern. What we're going to do is just play this over and over until we recognize the pattern without thinking of it. Now, what I would like to encourage you to do to memorize this pattern, just as I did, pick up and down the scale, back picking. This will teach you 2 things. Number one, you're going to memorize the scale, and number two, it's going to get your finger dexterity in sync with your picking. Like so. And then you could practice it double picking. The next thing that I would like you to remember is in the scale there are 8 notes, 8 tones. Starting with A, that would be your first tone. The B would be your second tone. The C would be your third tone. The D would be your fourth tone. The E would be your fifth tone. The F would be your sixth tone. And the G would be your seventh tone. And then repeats on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be important later on in the lesson in understanding chord structure. Just remember that there's 8 tones in the scale from A to A. The scale repeats itself. And it'll repeat itself again up the fretboard. Now keep in mind, I just showed you the first position of the A minor scale. What you need to understand, once you learn the first position of the minor scale, all you have to do is find the root note and take that anyway. Let's take it up to a C. Let's take it down to G. First finger on the G note. So on. F. You want to play in the key of F? First finger on the F note, first fret of the E string. So if you learn this pattern, that same pattern transposes all over the fretboard into different keys. You only have to learn one pattern for all keys. The last thing that I'd like to point out to you, if you look at the scale on the first position, you'll see an X on the E string 5th fret, an X on the D string 7th fret, and an X on the E string 5th fret. These are what we would call key notes. That's what key we are playing in. So if you're playing a solo and you want to come back to that tone, just remember the pattern where the key note is in the pattern. We understand that there is a pattern that we need to remember. The pattern is charted out for you. And just practice that pattern, picking up and down the scale. In our next lesson, what we're going to go over is all the positions of the minor scale. Thank you for watching, and would you please subscribe below.